Hey!
Hello.
Hi! What's up? What's up, everybody? Welcome to this cool, icy Saturday in July. How are you doing, my friend Johnny Weiss?
I'm good.
Are you okay?
I broke for a second. I was trying to think of a joke about how I'm like these skeletons. You know, I'm just vibing.
Vibing like the skeletons. Chili Bones. Chili Bones and Willy Bones. Those are the two guys we got back there.
Chili and Willy.
Yeah, locked up. Actually, I believe that is the corpse of Charlie Arizona. Yeah, in honor of the famous Charlie Arizona, the man who discovered the ambling skeleton.
Yes.
Of Anza Borrego. I hope you know what we're talking about. You will know what we're talking about if you saw our last episode, the cryptid special featuring Bigfoot, the Jersey Devil, and giant 8-foot skeletons.
We got such a great reaction to that episode. I was so happy. I was like glowing all day. Yeah. I think I read every comment.
Me too.
I mean, I usually read every comment, but
if you haven't seen that episode, we highly recommend it. Fire that one up right just as soon as you're done with this one. Just keep the podcast train going. You're not going to regret it. I think a lot of people were saying it was our best episode ever. And, well, due to the positive feedback, I feel inspired. I feel like maybe this podcast might be pivoting more towards some
wacky weirdness.
Yeah, weirdness, strange folklore in Americana, doing deep dives on those fringe topics that are just so strange and bizarre. You don't know what to make of them. I always love a topic that is like hard to decipher, like the cryptids.
Yeah, me too.
There's like little fragments of information here and there, and you really have to do the work to kind of piece it all together.
Yeah, I love talking about stuff that's super open-ended like that. There's no real answer. It's like a weird, fun gray area to talk about.
Yeah. So stay tuned. You might see some new surprises and changes around here. Maybe a new set. Maybe a new podcast name.
Forgot.
I don't know. We're going to go places with this. But as for today, we have a very special episode today.
Yeah, I want to say welcome all the new friends out there.
What are you talking about? New friends? Did you invite a bunch of people to watch our show?
Hello, new friends.
The person that Johnny met at the coffee shop the other day. He's like, I work on a podcast. Check it out.
I told my mom to watch finally. And she said she's going to do it.
Hello to our new friend, Johnny's mom.
Yeah.
You finally friends with your mom?
Finally.
Yeah.
Finally friends with my mom.
Getting to our guest today.
Yeah.
I had a proud papa moment.
You did.
With today's guest, RobertIDK. RobertIDK apparently is a long-time Mega64 fan and internet soldier. Who would have figured? Who would have thought?
Dude, since he was 8 years old.
Since he was like 8 or 9 years old.
That's wild.
And now he's on top of the world.
Dude.
Taking over YouTube. And I feel like in some small way, I'm partially responsible.
Dude.
You know, I have to say, I may have inspired him. Now it's all going to my head. My ego's through the roof. Johnny, you say some stuff while I come back down to earth.
You know, like in that evolutionary chart, like he's the human, you're like the one behind him, like.
I like that. Yeah, I'm the Cro-Magnon who's like just learning how to stand up straight, and then here he comes walking upright. I actually, do you remember when you were in school, they had those posters and it always ended with a guy hunched over a computer?
Oh, yeah.
Have you seen the evolution past that? Where it's
I've seen like meme ones.
A guy hunched over a computer, and then it's a guy hunched over even further looking at his cell phone.
Oh, dude.
So
they got us.
Yeah, these evolutionary comedians who are always like cutting us down with their acerbic wit and knife-like illustrations about the evolution of mankind.
That's like that. Have you ever seen that annoying image? I mean, people meme on it all the time where it's like that big bimbo woman, and then she like looks down and sees a book, and then she picks up the book, and then she slowly becomes a nerdy woman.
No.
I'll show that. I'll show it to you later.
Clearly, I should brush up. That sounds great.
Yeah.
So today we talked to RobertIDK all about his internet soldierism, his fandom of Mega64, Is he truly a hardcore Mega64 fan? Answer is yes, because it turns out Robert went way back into our history and dug up some stuff from our past and rubbed our face in it. He told us that he had some Mega64 videos that he had dug up to bring to our interview of him. And I actually got nervous because I was like, what does this guy have on me? What does he know?
He didn't make it sound like a detective. He was like, I have some videos.
Yeah, so we had a really
them across the table.
Long and fun conversation all about, Mega64. But then, just YouTube in the modern day.
Yeah.
How do you go from just being some kid who watches Mega64 and then you're inspired to make your own videos and put them on YouTube, and then they just start taking off and suddenly you are, just blowing up. How do you do that? And what is that like? What's that ride like?
I think if anything, you'll take away, like, if you were thinking about starting a YouTube channel, like after watching this interview, you will 100% go out and do it. Because
maybe
it was so inspiring. Like, to me, it was inspiring to just hear, like, about the grind and his whole process.
We talk shop a little bit. We have some fun. We react to some videos and we learn all about the current culture of commentary videos on YouTube, which I found out is the industry term.
That is the industry term.
I really enjoyed this conversation.
Me too.
I hope you enjoy it as well. Take a listen. This is us talking to Robert IDK. Okay, everybody, welcome. We are here with today's guest, YouTube superstar, megastar, AAA world celebrity.
AAA.
Robert IDK.
Hello.
But in addition to being arguably the biggest YouTuber in the world right now, Robert IDK is an internet soldier. He's a part of the Mega64 army. Wouldn't you believe it?
Dude.
I didn't believe it.
Me either.
When I first heard it. But we've been chatting with Robert for a little while now, and I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, this guy knows his stuff. This guy's been around the Mega64-niverse a couple of times. A couple of times. If we change the name of the show, should we call it the Mega64-niverse?
I love that.
Robert, welcome.
Hello.
What's up, dudes?
Hey, what's happening?
Mega64
we just kind of
universe.
started talking and riffing without you.
Yeah, well, I didn't know if I was on screen during that whole intro, so I was like, do I just like act like?
Yeah, no, you were
there.
You were on screen the whole time, so we captured all of the
great,
uncomfortable
Thanks.
awkwardness, putting you on the spot. All of that was captured.
Okay, perfect. Well,
we've
yeah,
been chatting
so,
for like a while now, but how you doing, man?
Good, and yeah, so I've been watching Mega64 since 2004. I would have been like 9 years old. I think I was in like my grade school's like computer lab, and of course, not doing the work. The troublemaker in the class went to your website, and this was before YouTube, right? How were you guys even hosting? Like embedding the videos back then?
You don't want to know because it would make like your toes curl and your blood curdle. We were hosting it on our own website. We were like hosting video just on our own. Like we had to pay the bandwidth ourselves for hosting video.
Back then, was it like if one person watched it, you paid for that one person to watch it, or like you pay to host it and then as many people can watch it?
We were like 17, 18 years old and got, sacked with like a $2,000 bandwidth bill because there's like 100 people watched your Tetris video. So that's how we were doing it back then. But you could interview me, I could interview you, we could go back and forth all day.
I'm just here.
I want to let people know out there, your big accomplishment, your milestone, you just hit 1 million subscribers on YouTube. Was it last week?
Yeah.
Last week?
About 2 weeks ago, yeah.
About 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Round
That's
of applause.
awesome. Congrats.
How has your life changed now? Are you like wearing robes everywhere you go, with, like feathers
Gucci.
and stuff?
Well, so obviously hitting the arbitrary number changes nothing, but I will say like in the last year, like my life's changed a lot, but I've still been in quarantine. So in reality, I'm still just sitting in the room. The big thing, helped me buy more Mega64 merch. I'm able to go on the website like every week and by the lot, you know. So that's been the big thing.
That's hilarious
With
to
an
me.
email.
Now,
Dream.
I'm joking. I am joking. I'm not just spending my money on
he's
Mega 64
joking,
merch.
but I think he might be joking about joking because
yeah.
I watched a video you did where you reviewed your first video. And in that video, you said that you started on Instagram, right? And so I went and I looked up your Instagram. And there's Mega64 merch all over it. And I was like, bro, this guy, he has the, there's multiple photos of my youth pastor would love this. And I was like, that's a deep cut.
Yeah. Well, okay, so that's more recent. But yeah. I mean, I've been watching forever, but yeah, I will say, like, since getting more into the podcast in like the last couple of years, I've gone through phases, right? Like, I'd say I watched every podcast around like 2008. When did the podcast start? So I don't get this wrong.
I couldn't even tell you. You probably know better than I do, honestly.
Okay, well, let's just say like 2008 to 2011, and then, you know, took a few years off and then came back, a few years off, and I've been back for like a couple years now.
Yeah.
But this time around, yeah, like I'm a 64-hour special kind of guy, except I don't listen live, so a lot of the time I miss it. But, you know.
That's okay. That's okay. Man, I have so many questions. Man, where do we even begin? So first, all right, here's my first question, because I hear this all the time. People say, I'm going to get it from you. I was a Mega 64 fan, but I took a few years off.
Yeah.
Like Mega 64 was my life, but then I had an identity crisis and I just needed to walk away. I always hear the phrase, I took a few years off, and it makes it sound like being a
Really?
Mega 64
Oh,
fan is a
no.
full-time job.
Kind
you
of
know?
is.
Well, yeah, it is now.
I'm just assuming like you got in the way, like you got into video games and other stuff and just forgot about this YouTube channel. But
Yeah, well, I think it just depends on routine. Like for me, so I'm a big podcast guy. And I have different podcasts for different parts of my day. Like I have a podcast that I will make breakfast to, a podcast for during the day. But
what podcast do you make breakfast to?
I love this, by the way.
Which one?
Yeah.
It's called Tiny Meat Gang, and it's a couple new school YouTubers. They're both like 30, but it's a comedy group.
Okay. Shouts
yeah,
out Tiny
like,
Meat
I don't
Gang.
know.
Shouts out.
Yeah. Mega 64 though is like I wind down to you guys, and I'm sure you'll find a way to take that offensively. But yeah, in the evening, as I'm prepping for bed, I like the Mega 64 podcast. I guess it just feels like chill and friendly. I don't know.
Oh,
It's like
yeah.
after
Well,
dark
also
stuff.
like sometimes it's just so incredibly boring you can't
Yeah.
help but fall asleep. So
See, yeah, right. Of course, I figured that would be
those,
your
figure
approach.
reviews and
Right.
so.
No, I will say if it's an after show, I don't feel bad about falling asleep. you know?
Yeah, I fall asleep on the after show sometimes.
Right.
So, what made you kind of rediscover? How did you rediscover Mega 64 after taking some time off? Do you remember what it was? Where you're like, oh yeah, these guys.
No. Okay, it would never be these guys, because it's always been like a significant thing. But no, I don't know, man. I don't know. I just go through phases of things, man. It's like
Yeah.
I think it would be a huge accomplishment if I just watched consistently for like 15 years or however long it's been.
I don't expect anybody to watch consistently for 15 years. I always joke about this, but I'm not. I don't even pay attention to Mega 64. I wouldn't watch myself consistently for 15 years, so I can't expect anybody else to do it.
Yeah,
People
well,
are-
that is like a fear. I think that's a fear that most YouTubers without massive egos would go through. It's like, because my genre is very like consistent. I make very similar videos, and that is a constant concern. Like I freak out that like my background is the same for too long. That's why I put like this camera can't see it, but I change up the lights. I have cardboard cutouts, and I just mess with things constantly because I'm always afraid of like people are looking at the same thing over and over. But at the same time, like I've watched things that are the same, so I don't know. I overthink it probably.
No, I feel like you gotta change it up. I always like, we change our podcast set, and I think we've had this one for too long because
I agree.
It kind of, there's different eras. You're changing as a person, and so I like the visual catalog where you can be like, oh, it was that era. Oh, it was that set. Oh,
I
it was
think
that
that's
setup.
Awesome. Absolutely.
And I think that those videos, they start to have like the feeling starts to match the look, and you can be like, oh, it's that kind of video. It's from, that era.
Right. Yeah. Well, I will say like, when the remote filming of the podcast happened, that blew, like you guys did a better job than I have seen anyone do on like making it still feel the same. Like that blew my mind how you guys did that.
Oh, you mean like during the pandemic?
Yeah. During the pandemic, when I don't even know who was on set and who wasn't. Like I could tell Sean wasn't, but like there were some things where it was like it looked just so real. It blew my mind.
I'm so happy about that because that took forever to set up, and it was a pain every week to green screen Sean into the set. But I appreciate that.
Yeah, and it was many fights of why are we still doing it?
Yeah.
We see you on a daily basis.
For people like me, you're doing it.
Yeah. So let's talk about you. Let's talk about your YouTube channel. For people who don't know, your channel, you do react videos.
Yes.
But what else would you? Is it just react videos solely at this point?
Yeah, reaction is a very cheap name, and I hesitate to like. It's easier to say it that way, but like it is kind of like.
I apologize.
You don't want to be
industry term.
Commentary reaction.
There you go.
Okay.
Because there with reaction, there's people who put a lot of work into it, and then there's people who literally turn on the camera, go for it, and essentially steal the person's video and say a couple words here and there. So like obviously there's a bit of a stigma with the genre and with that name in general. But I think a lot of YouTube content is reaction, whether people realize it or not.
Mm-hmm.
All that it depends on is just the format you do it in. There will be people who make it more of like an essay format, like they show part of the video and then they cut away and talk for a while. And like, I think I do kind of blur the lines there, but so I guess I do say reaction because it's easier to understand what you're getting into, but like I do take a lot of pride in what I do. Like any video that I make, there's, probably like 12 to 15 hours put into it. So I'm trying not to be cheap with it, Okay.
That's interesting. So is that kind of your approach to the content that you create? Like anybody could do this, but only certain people are going to elevate this.
Absolutely. And that's kind of how I feel about creativity in general. And I don't know if you guys are into like the Enneagram types, it's like personality type, whatever. But what I found out is, and this lines up with me, is like my whole value of myself is being able to do things differently than I think anyone else would do it. Not necessarily better or worse or whatever, but I take a lot of pride in that. While I am in a very populated genre, I don't think anyone's videos are going to feel exactly like mine. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that is absolutely what I take pride in and what I strive for, like every time.
Awesome.
How do you set yourself apart? What do you feel like is the secret sauce to the RobertIDK video?
Yeah, so I mean, the most important part is obviously your personality, and that's what sets every person apart. I know how lame that sounds, but I've been also editing since I was 12 years old.
Okay.
So there's gonna be nuances and differences that, and that's what I think is great about editing. And back in the day, when I wasn't as comfortable on camera and I wasn't as good at being a YouTuber, I would just like film for 50 minutes, be really awkward, and I just like compensate with as much editing as possible. It was very torturous.
You're hitting Johnny. Like, you're hitting me right in the soul right now.
That's what he does right now.
That's exactly where I'm at.
Yeah. Well, hey, man. Yeah, no, it'll always progress, but.
Well, I was going to say, not to cut you off, but you said like the most important thing is having just your own personality. But sometimes having your own personality on camera is hard. Like that's the hardest part is figuring out who you want to be on camera because, you know, I feel like there's so many different sides of everybody and people are real 3-dimensional in real life. But then when you're on camera for just a few minutes, it's kind of a facade. You are presenting your, and I've talked about this on this podcast, your persona basically.
Yep. We've dealt with that, like, or I've dealt with that, like on the show. Like I didn't know what to do. And I just was trying to like echo you and just be crazy and silly. But then I realized like, that's not me. And people enjoyed me more as just like, I started to get comfortable and just act like myself and not like be a weird parody of you.
What was it like for you on camera?
So, okay. I definitely, for the first couple years, I was definitely imitating my favorite YouTubers. So when I first started, I started in like 2014, and that was when it was like, I don't know if you know, like Peanut Butter Gamer, JonTron, people like that. It was kind of like comedy game review type things. And so I was trying to do that. I was way too awkward on camera. So personality wise, I did not emulate it at all. But when I came back in like 2015, because I made like 3 videos and went away, I was watching a lot of the really popular Let's Player kind of guys. So like Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, and some PewDiePie, you know. And for that, it was very like chaotic in the gaming videos. And then like you'd get really sincere, like, yeah, this community means so much to me, you guys. Like this last year's really changed my life, you know, just like really like sincere kind of thing. And I kind of just like followed that archetype. And then as time went on, it's like, I mean, I am kind of like that in the sense of like, I do like being as weird and dumb and crazy as possible in my actual videos, but I do like to get genuine. So that kind of happened naturally, but I will say like I deviated from that mold a little bit. So for me, and I think one thing I do more than a lot of people I watch is I get into like all of my interests. I don't like hide my behind the scenes personality or like what I'm into on the sides. And I'll go on like a tangent for like 45 seconds about something random that I know about or I'm into that maybe my audience doesn't know or care about, but like I think the fact that I don't filter that is part of me, you know?
Yeah, I think that's the most important thing in any form of entertainment is having like emotional connection, like a real emotional connection with what you're doing in some way. So,
because I think people could tell when you're being genuine and when you're not. But I did want to ask, those early influences, has it come around at all? Have like any of those people ever contacted you and be like, hey, I watched the channel?
Okay. So really kind of weird backstory. I started with like gaming style videos. And then, as I was trying to discover, that community and grow in that community and get my own community, I was, Derek, I don't know if you mentioned this before or now, but I started on Instagram. And so I kind of explored those YouTubers' communities and saw what people liked and all that. And I got involved in like the Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, PewDiePie community. And it culminated with me having an idea to make a song about them. And this isn't like a standard like fan song. There was this, you know, people talk about like shipping things. Yeah. People were shipping Markiplier and Jacksepticeye. So I was working night shifts in a factory at this point, and I was just the whole shift. I was just thinking about YouTube, what I was going to do. And I had this idea for a song about that. And I thought it would be really funny if I like did it really over the top, like pretending to be super serious. And so I did that, and that just did like 100 times what all my other videos had done.
Wow.
So that kind of became what I was known for, unfortunately, for a very long time. And also, I'm not as good at like comedy music as I hoped, because it's like when I'm making music, I do try to make it sound as good as possible to the point where it just looks like I'm being fully serious. That kind of became what I don't want to say plagued with, but identified with for a very long time. And so that video has over like almost 2 million views now.
Whoa.
And so Jacksepticeye, I did meet at a convention, and he was super cool. Yeah, we got on well. Yeah, he gets it. You know, I think a lot of YouTubers understand that, like, you know, YouTubers, we aren't exactly what we are in our videos, and we will do certain ideas or get into certain things because it's the best thing for the channel. You know, to an extent, like, obviously you're doing what you're interested in, but there's an element where it's like, okay, I'm gonna be a bit more into this than I would otherwise be because that's what my viewers want. Anyways.
Yeah. Do you ever find yourself where the joke becomes too real? Like, I was into this as a bit, but now I'm legitimately starting to get into it.
Oh, right. A little bit. So, and that was a huge problem for my channel for the first several years. Because just for some context, I made videos consistently from 2016 to late 2018. Then I kind of didn't know what I was doing. I took a long break and I came back at the beginning of 2020. My videos were very inconsistent before, and it was very based around like other fan bases. And so my channel even went through a phase of like K-pop, because that was like the biggest thing. Because it always starts with like, hey, react to this. And so you do one video and it does way better than everything else. So it's like, oh, I guess I'm doing this now. So, you know, I'm, you know, a few months later and I'm just putting on BTS merch in the morning, you know, not really thinking about it. And it's like, wow, yeah, this kind of became like, I don't like it that much, you know? So, yeah.
Yeah, that's what happened with me and Robert Pattinson. Because
You're living that
Robert
right
Pattinson was just like this big meme, the dude from Twilight. And then I was like, haha, yeah, these memes. And I started trafficking in Robert Pattinson memes. But then legitimately through the meme community, started seeing so much love and respect for Robert Pattinson that it made me realize like, oh, he's done a lot more than I've realized. And now I think legitimately he's like my favorite modern contemporary working actor.
I love how your demeanor changed with that. Like, there was a while where you were like, yeah, he's funny. And then you were like, no, like, what's the joke? Like,
yeah,
I
he's
love
like
him.
Legitimately the greatest. Like, I'm a stan.
No, he's a great looking dude and he's got a great name. And yeah, I think you guys, I think I remember you guys talking about the upcoming Batman film,
but you forgot to mention he's also a phenomenal actor. So,
I'm sorry.
The third part of
well, I figured you had that
fan.
covered, but yeah.
I think for me, what I love, just to talk about Robert Pattinson, is when you see him in interviews, he doesn't give a shit. I was going to say the F word, but I toned it down. He doesn't give an S about anything. He's so off the cuff and like doesn't take himself seriously.
I think that's when people like that meme of him, because it's just like him in the jumpsuit, because it's just like he's willing to look that crazy.
That's how I want to be in life. Like, I don't want to take anything too seriously. So
yeah. Well, there's the somewhat viral cat question in the interview or whatever. He's it was around like the first or second Twilight movie. There was an interview, him and what's the female lead in Twilight?
Kristen
Is it
Stewart? Yeah,
Kristen Stewart. That's what I was gonna say, but I was like, is that just a random
Bella,
white name?
I
that
think
I
is
made up?
her name, her character's name.
Okay. They were in an interview together, and also my camera stopped recording. Just a sec.
Oh, no worries.
YouTuber thing.
YouTuber problems. We're gonna leave this all on the show.
Especially if your phone goes off, that's a good luck charm.
My phone has rang. I got a phone call and an alert, so you know it's an official Mega64antine episode when I'm getting calls on camera.
Cut all this out, right? You know.
One day I'll get a call.
Or you can leave it in.
You will get a call. Maybe I'll call you.
Yeah.
So it was an interview early on with one of the early Twilight movies. And I forget what the question was, but Kristen Stewart was like, "Oh yeah, if one of my cats died, I don't know, like my life would be over. I don't know what I would do." Robert Pattinson's like, "Cats die, you know, like they don't even live very long. Like it's gonna die."
Yeah,
and she's like, like she doesn't know
you get like
how to react.
years.
So just that. Yeah. So that is a classic moment that I think a lot of I've seen that moment. And so, yeah, I get it for sure.
He rules. Hey, so you brought some videos that you wanted to react to. We'll get to that in a second. But I have a question because you said you took some time off from making videos and then you just came back in 2020.
Yeah. Yeah. So in okay. Long story, I'll sum it up pretty quickly. But around like 2017, I was living with another YouTuber friend who kind of was in the same genre as me. And then, you know, we it was like I was living in England for 6 months because that's how long you can live there without any visa or whatever. And then he was gonna come to Canada, which is where I'm from. And then, you know, plans got all mixed up, and so where I thought I was going with my channel, I didn't end up going. And then all of 2018, I was just kind of like not knowing what to do. You know, wasn't staying consistent with anything, and you know, mental health began to plummet. Just a long kind of decline there, you know, not just with me personally, but like my channel's numbers as well. And then it got to a point where it was kind of like, well,
your channel's subscribers were declining at this point?
No, not subscribers, but like
just
monthly views and whatnot. Yeah.
Okay.
So active subscribers were plummeting essentially. And then I don't know, I kind of I decided I wanted to work with more people. And so I joined a company that is out here, and that's why I am here now. I was editing for a really big channel called Dope or Nope. I don't know if you've heard of them, but you've probably seen their thumbnails. In fact, I remember the Mega64 Twitter account retweeted. It was on like the YouTube thumbnails Twitter account where they just post goofy thumbnails.
Yeah.
Because it's the thumbnails where it's like, let me see if I can do this for the camera. Guy
This is
on
gonna
one
be the
side.
thumbnail for ours.
Yeah, goofy. No, please don't. Goofy product on the other, and it's like, huh? You know, like that kind of thumbnail.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the channel I worked for. Now, much more than meets the eye, I will say, and I will say the editing was crazy. That was like the most work I ever put into stuff, but that's what brought me out here, and it kind of like got me working again. This is something I could talk about for ages, but for me personally, like I do really struggle with like self-motivation and like working by myself. So quarantine was rough. But yeah, so that kind of helped me get that back on track. And then, man, I always find that I get the most done when I'm have the least free time enforced upon me. So like when I started my channel, I was working 12-hour factory night shifts, and then I'd come home and sleep from like 8 to 4. And then I'd have like 4 hours when I wake up to work on my stuff. I just work like crazy and go straight to work, and literally no free time at all. But then once, you know, I am successful enough to do my own thing and I have all the free time in the world, it's way harder. I'm sure there are some people who can relate to that, you know, ADD kind of things. But so working for that company allowed me to get back into that. And so, yeah, I'd edit for 8 hours a day there, come home and do my own thing. And yeah, man, I wish I could just channel that. I wish I could just channel that Robert who just works his ass off like that.
It's so crazy because I feel like I've been there when life sucks. You're so motivated to like, oh, I got to do something. I got to get out of here. And then you start making some progress. And you're like, yeah, I'm doing it. All right, I'm going to go play video games.
I literally had the same thing as Robert here because like I edited for Frederator. I used to have to make Fortnite videos every week, and they'd make me do like a 1-day turnaround. And it was like I wanted to like scream and like pull my hair out, and I was also working on the side. So I'm glad you had like I really like, you're hitting my soul this whole interview. Like,
yeah. Oh, well, I'm happy to hear that. Yeah, dude. Well, yeah, I think like I work so much better when I'm working for someone, and when there's like a fear of like, I need to provide for this person. And man, I'm not going to get too deep with it. Like there's some like deep rooted self-esteem things in there. Like my goal is to be able to work for myself the way I can work for other people. But anyways, that's just the journey. But anyways, so that's what kind of like made me take that long break. And then in 2020, you know, I had that kind of motivation and grind mentality again.
And how was it
so, yeah,
starting off after taking a break? Because obviously you just celebrated 2 weeks ago passing 1 million subscribers. So at some point, the snowball started rolling and getting bigger and bigger. But what was it that like got it to that point?
January of 2020 is when I came back. And yeah, so my genre was still kind of reaction based, but it was like there was also skits and music and all that stuff. But there was an audience that liked that kind of stuff. So when I came back, I think I had about a third of the active following that I had before, which is still way better than nothing and starting over.
Right.
And so the big thing the second time around was being consistent, because like I kind of touched on, back in the first era or whatever, you know, 1 week you'd have a song parody music video. The next week, maybe you'd have a reaction. The next week you'd have like a skit, or like a skit reaction hybrid or whatever.
Yeah.
And these were all these big projects that I just, you know, it took me so long and it wasn't consistent, and not being consistent is bad on YouTube. You know, I think everyone kind of knows that.
Yeah.
So this time around, I was like, right. So this time around, I was like, I'm going to stick to a genre, and I'm going to do it multiple times a week. And, you know, when you click on one of my videos, you'll roughly know what to expect. Yeah. Anyways, and I think working for that other channel did really help me get more of a business mentality, more of that understanding. Because, you know, for so long I had that pride of just like, I'm going to do, if I'm not doing exactly what I want to do, why am I doing it? And it's like, okay, well, we also do live in the real world. So, you know, having to integrate a bit more of a business mindset towards it. So yeah, it took a few months where, yeah, obviously my videos weren't doing anything that they were before. I will say that I did have one friend in the scene. Like I have made a lot of friends over the years, and one of them I did a pretty big collab video with. Now this was just one video, so, you know, I wasn't pulled up completely.
Can you say who that was? What's that video we're talking about?
Yeah. My friend, her channel name is Gloom. She is also Canadian, and she's great. At that time, you're smiling. I feel like I know what you're thinking.
I've seen Gloom around. Yeah.
Yeah. There were these animated story videos that were, well, they're still really big, but it was really popular to react to them. And so that's what she was doing a lot of. And so we just did one together. We did one on her channel and one on mine, and the one on her channel has like 5 million views or something. And mine has like 2.5. And so that didn't happen right away. That happened over time. But yeah, that video was my foot in the YouTube algorithm coming back, right? Like when I came back, YouTube had no business promoting my stuff, but I had that. And so YouTube was like, all right, cool.
A little bit of cross-pollination there.
Right. I think that got my foot back in the door.
Yeah.
And then it did take like a lot of grinding from there. Like it did not happen overnight, but staying consistent for a few months. Yeah, finally got that snowball going. And yeah, the consistency was the difference maker. Now still, I will say that right now, the difference between my videos doing well, my subscribers going up and not is completely based on consistency, not the quality of my videos, which is a sad reality. And I'm not saying I
wait. Like, so you're saying it's more important for you to just put out videos than to focus on making high art with your videos.
Right. Now, if I started putting out trash, if I stopped putting the 13 hours into every video, then I would not expect as many people to watch them, and I would hope that not as many people would watch them. So I think there is an element where, let's be real, like some kids will just watch anything if they're young enough. You know, I think that's an infuriating thing as like an adult who's passionate about YouTube, seeing like some of the trash that the kids are just soaking in.
Yeah, you're not even necessarily talking about your videos. You're just talking about the YouTube audience. Some kids out there will watch anything.
I'm definitely not talking about my videos being trash that's soaked in. I mean, ideally not.
Yeah.
But I could afford to put some less work into my videos, but there is an element of like quality is important, but quantity is extremely important.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing that I people don't really talk about this, but one thing I have observed with the YouTube algorithm is there are some people who post like once every 2 months and it always does well. And then there's people who post every day and it does super well. But what doesn't work is if you post every day and then you switch to posting like twice a week. It seems like YouTube hates that.
Oh.
And like if you go down, if you increase your output,
output,
how often you put out your output, it's better for you, but as soon as you decrease, it's bad. So I have the capacity to put out videos daily, but I choose not to, because if I did that, then there's no going back.
Yeah.
You know, and I've seen people who put out daily videos for years, and now they put out like 4 a week, and yeah, they just aren't growing like they used to. So it is a very tricky tug of war. And it is an unfortunate reality, because it's like, even though right now, like these last couple of weeks have been very, very hectic for me. So I have not reached my typical output. And even though the videos are just as good, like it's just not getting out there the same way. And so as soon as if I picked it up and had full capacity again, then like, yeah, automatically like the algorithm would just be like, okay, sweet, you know, and help me out again.
Being on YouTube is kind of like being in the wild, wild west, because it's uncharted territory. It's been around at this point for 16 years, but it's still a new industry. Did you, when you were a kid growing up and they're like, what do you want to do when you grow up? Did you want to be an entertainer? Did you want to be on camera? Or was this always your dream in some way?
Yeah, dude. Well, I think as an 8-year-old, it was the same as every person like us. And I was like, I want to be a video game designer. You know, that's what I said. And then when when Pirates of the Caribbean 1 came out, I was like, I want to be an actor, because of Johnny Depp just, you know, set the bar.
Yeah, for me,
so
I'm a little older than you, but for me, it was Terminator 2. I wanted to be the kid in Terminator 2. I
think we all did.
Somebody could be that kid.
Okay. Yeah, well, I think you had a cooler upbringing as far as movies go, because I was like, I couldn't watch Terminator 2 when I was a kid. You know, my parents didn't show me cool movies like that.
Oh my gosh.
So
my parents
from what I've heard, you got in pretty early. So I didn't watch like the edgier classics or whatever.
Pirates of the Caribbean is a great movie. I would put that up there with Terminator 2 as far as an iconic movie.
Yeah,
I think they're both equally. They're both iconic films.
I like the silence after you said that. I like it.
Look, Terminator 2 is great, but then you have Terminator 3, 4, 5, and 6, which are garbage. And then Pirates of the Caribbean 1 is great, and then all the other ones are.
I think 1 and 2 are great.
Yeah, two is very good, Johnny. 3 sucks though.
Yeah, 3's terrible. 3's the worst.
Not everyone agrees with that, because it's like the quality is there, but they're just talking the whole time.
Oh, the writing is horrible.
Why you're that's not why you're watching Pirates of the Caribbean.
I love
3.
Pirates of the Caribbean 3 starts and the Kraken is already dead. The most badass monster from the second movie is like, oh yeah, he died off camera. I was like, you had a movie on your hands and you blew it.
Yeah, that's one of like a small handful of movies where it's like, you think it's like, I don't remember liking it. You know what the other one is? Oh, okay. You're like, I remember that movie not being good, but why wasn't it good? And so it's like, maybe it's me. And so you go and watch it again, and it's like, no, it was boring as hell. It was horrible. And Shrek 3 is the other one. Shrek 3 is terrible. And it's like, maybe it's just me, because it has all the same ingredients. It has the same, like...
That's absolutely just you. I think Shrek 3 is the best of the...
Really?
No, I'm just kidding.
I was like, damn.
I only saw the first Shrek. I haven't seen Shrek 3.
Honestly, as far as like family
2
movies go, I think Shrek 2 is like one of the best sequels ever.
Yeah.
Because Shrek 1 was almost, I don't want to say it was like an experiment, but they hadn't done it before, you know, like the sassy kind of like vulgar, crude kids hero. And then that movie did so well, it became a pop culture phenomenon. And so with the second one, they played into that fully. And you watch the opening, like when they first get into Far, Far Away, like 5 minutes into the second one, you see like, oh, Shrek is a celebrity now. Like that's what they're doing with this movie. And I think they just like took everything to 11 with that movie. I think Shrek 2 is like the perfect sequel to the first one.
We're talking Terminator 2. We're talking Shrek 2. We're talking the greatest sequels of all time. All right. Dude, let's get to these videos you brought because you said you have some videos to react to. We're gonna do commentary to these
for
videos.
you to react to. I edited these together. Now I didn't do too much work, so don't get too excited about that. But like here's the context. The Mega64 podcast, I've been watching pretty consistently for a very, very, very long time. In the double digits. And in quarantine, I kind of came back to a lot of it, and I just went to random ones. And once you've gone through all the last year, you just type in random numbers. So I typed in 420. You know what it is. Watch that one, and then I was like, okay, let's just go backwards, and I watched 419. Now, podcast 419, it had some mind-blowing moments, and I really hope that some of the people watching who are Mega64 fans agree. We'll start with the Sean one.
Okay.
So, Sean's favorite video game. You know what it is, right? It's very clear.
Okay, I think it's Zelda.
Breath of the Wild. So he said in podcasts like that's my favorite game, right? Like he's been very, very vocal about like that is his favorite game of all time. Now let's see what his reaction was in 2016 when E3 happened.
All right, we're hitting play now.
Moving back to that Zelda trailer,
Yeah.
I didn't think it looked. I mean, it was nothing, but I didn't think it looked good. Like it didn't look.
I am kind of in the same boat.
The graphics didn't look good. I didn't care. Like I was disappointed by that.
I'm in the same boat, and I'm trying to figure out
This is
what
so
it is.
funny.
It was kind of like that Skyward
Look at me,
Sword
completely
art
checked
style.
out.
Yeah, which I didn't like the
I didn't
first
like
time.
then, and I don't know why we're doing it again.
Yeah, I don't. It's more cel shaded now.
But again, it was only like 45 seconds. It was pretty short.
Oh my
It
god.
didn't show much, but I was.
Well, there's a whole gameplay thing later. They
Oh, I
played
didn't
through
see
it
that.
for a few minutes.
There's me being like,
But
what are you
I-
talking?
yeah,
Why are you
very
complaining about?
You
a
know, I
Zelda
was talking
game?
about that with my brother. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, I was disappointed by that.
Yeah.
That is so funny because they don't stop talking about that game now. Like, I think it's always like, well, it's not Breath of the Wild because that's, the standard.
my gosh.
That's so funny.
That's a deep cut. Also, I need to work on my resting bitch face. I have the worst case of it on file in the history of the world. And there's more video of me with RBF than probably anybody else on this planet.
So I will say, the shot where it's just you zoomed, like I cut that in.
Yeah.
I think it helped the transition, like some words I cut out. I think it made that easier. But yeah, it worked there. I will say you looked pretty dead inside in that moment, but that's okay.
I always look dead inside. I'm always thinking about pretty deep stuff.
I think it's also the clean shave. Like the clean shave like accents that look more. I think I don't notice it right now, at least,
Well, if you were to do like a 20-minute tangent on Zelda and how you don't think the trailer looks very good, you would definitely see it come out.
Right.
Yeah.
That was episode 419, and yeah, I heard that and I thought it was kind of hilarious because he's made it very clear that's his favorite game.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then another moment which maybe a little bit of context is required. Now I can't see these when you show them, so I'm just watching your reaction. I've seen them enough times that I know what's going on, but in the same episode, this is E3, right? They announced The Last of Us 2. And they showed a trailer for it. I don't remember what the trailer was. I didn't care about the series at the time. But obviously, I think for the most part, that game came out last year, and I think people know what the big controversial twist was that happens very early on in the game. It's the premise of the game. At this point, it's not a spoiler. That is what the game is about. So if you understand that, let's listen to what Derek, what you thought about the trailer.
Okay.
They gotta make a sequel.
I never beat Last of Us. I haven't seen the trailer for this new one.
And I'm trying not to spoil the ending for people who maybe didn't,
But all I can say is maybe they'll surprise you. And those guys are good writers. I mean, you're a fan of what they did before. They could use this as an opportunity to play with your expectations. Like,
Sure.
maybe if Joel and Ellie, is it?
Yeah.
Are the main characters in the sequel,
The slow push.
They could die 3 hours in, and maybe they're not advertising that, and they're playing with your expectations.
Sure. So, and what I was gonna
Jesus Christ, that's Jason Bourne.
Yes,
Dude, that
yes!
Nostraderic came out. That's
The
wild.
predictions.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, this is why we need people to dig back through our archives and just make me look good.
Yeah.
Even though I look
Still clean shaven.
clean shaven, just so. What was going on that day? I don't know. I was clearly had a lot going on in the background.
Anyways, so yeah, those are from the same episode, and I watched. I left a comment on that episode, but like I was like, I want to tell these people what happened, like, because I don't know if you guys would be as excited about that as I was, but like I thought those moments were just kind of hilarious.
Yeah.
And a little poetic, you know.
I appreciate that. Thank
that was
you for
awesome.
sharing that. I love any time where I am proven right, because who doesn't like
happens
that?
a lot.
Who doesn't like to be
Yeah, well,
proven
dude,
right?
you could make a lot of money writing apparently. And yeah, not even just that it happens, but that they're misleading and not showing that, you know?
Yeah, totally.
Now, personally, I don't want to get into it because I know it's a controversial topic, but I loved that game and I loved the story. I am on team Last of Us 2, and I think that is the silent majority, to be honest. I think it was a really, really, really great game. And yeah, that's all I'm gonna say.
So, are you big into video games?
For sure. Yeah. Right now, my struggle is I've gotten back to Halo, and so I'm playing multiplayer, and that just can take up as much time as you want it to take up. And so I have a lot of single player games I'm neglecting.
When did you
but
first? Well, this is a stupid question, but how long have you been playing Halo for?
Well, I didn't have the first Xbox, so I played Halo PC back in like 2004, something like that, and then Halo 3 when 2008 when all that came out, and yeah. But
I find that I always
much
play
like
video games that I played when I was like 13. I just go back to them because
right.
it's so comfortable.
I know. Well, with shooters, I don't do campaigns. I don't play shooter campaigns. I buy it and I go straight to multiplayer. I don't know. It's just a different feeling, you know? It's like it feels more real to me, like when you're playing with other people. Now nothing can replace like a really good story-based game. But like, yeah, Halo, I don't know, dude. It just feels right. And like I personally, so I've got the Series X and the PS5. Yeah. I've kind of felt the same way for the last 3 generations, where it's like if you've got a group of friends who you're playing with, like Xbox is the most fun and accessible way to do it. But as far as like if you are big on the story-based single player experiences, PlayStation's the way to go. And that's how it's been for me this generation so far, right? Like I got the PS5, played through Demon Souls, amazing. Spider-Man, good as well. But like when it comes down to like I'm playing socially and I'm playing every day, it's like I've been playing my Xbox constantly.
Yeah, I'm a single player gamer.
A single player.
I'm a single player. But I've kind of been disappointed. I agree with what you're saying. And I played those games on PS5 too. But honestly, I feel like I'm playing my PS4 more than my PS5.
Right.
Because
Well, there's
the
a lot more
storage
to
is
play on it.
bigger, and I can download indie games, which are killer. And they just don't have any like big breakout games on PS5, you know?
I know. Well, see, I was really excited about Resident Evil for that reason, because I knew nothing was coming out. So I was like, okay, the Resident Evil boys are going to be eaten this year, like everyone's going to be really into that. So I was really excited for that to come out. And it totally happened. Like it became like the viral game for like a few weeks. And so that was fun. But yeah, there's definitely not enough. And I will say that like the storage is the most criminal part about those systems. Like it makes now I know it's solid state, so it costs a lot of money, but like to me, like there's no excuse. At least do like have a solid state and then also have a really big hard disk drive that you just have to transfer quickly, internally. Yeah. Right. I think it's ridiculous that you can only store like in some cases like 3 or 4 current gen games.
I think it's a design flaw. I think it like deteriorates from the overall I don't know, presentation, just the whole package. Do you have a favorite video game? Do you have one that you would say is the best or?
Right. All time, Banjo-Kazooie is number one. And I think Banjo-Kazooie was the first Mega64 video I saw. I liked the game way before the video, just to be clear.
That is such a deep, the Banjo-Kazooie Mega 64
I know.
video.
Yeah, it's pretty
Wow.
simple. Like that's like a TikTok now, honestly. You know,
Oh, yeah.
like
I'll put that on TikTok right
the
now.
content that's in
Right
that
after this
video is
that's
like
going up.
yeah, great.
Yeah.
And then Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door on GameCube is also my favorite, second favorite, because RPGs I enjoy, but I don't go that deep with it. So the first two Paper Mario games were incredible. Then I guess nostalgia-wise, Sonic Adventure 2 on GameCube also really. Oh yeah, Johnny, you were just playing that, weren't you?
Yeah, I mean, nostalgically, it's amazing, but after a while, the gameplay starts to get like eat at your soul. But
Yeah,
that's just me.
Getting all the emblems in that game is like one of my biggest gaming accomplishments of my life, I would say.
I've never seen the true ending, so I do.
Yeah?
that is an accomplishment.
I'm gonna restart my camera again real quick. I'm on that DSLR light, so 30 minutes. I have to, do it. But yeah, well, do you know, like when you get all the emblems? Did I say emeralds or emblems?
You said emblems.
Okay, when you get all the emblems, you unlock Green Hill Zone, right?
Yeah, and I think in the first game you get Metal Sonic too. People were trying to get me to do that, and I was like, do not have the time.
No, I'm never. I've accepted because the completionist did a video on Sonic Adventure 2, and like when I watched it, it brought back all the memories of like how long that took me, and I was like, it kind of blew my mind because it's like at my age now, where I am in my life, I will never be able to do this again. I will never be able to put this time into this game again. And I think I'm a bit of a minority as far as gamers go in that regard. Cause like you go on Steam and you see like all the reviews, it's like has 1,000 hours on file. And that blows my mind. And I've like dated girls who have like 2,000 hours in Animal Crossing. And I'm like, I don't understand this. I don't know how you can, with any game. I don't know how you
They
can
don't
do
even
that,
have 2,000 hours in the relationship with you. They got Animal Crossing. No, I can relate to that. I feel like I have this fantasy that one day I'll retire. I'll be super successful, filthy rich, retire to my mansion, and play every video game that I skipped throughout my entire life.
Jeez.
I'll have every console there, and I'll be like, oh.
Yeah, if you've got the cable still.
RPG.
In the future, they will have figured all that out. They'll have one universal cable for every console.
Universal console. It plays everything.
Yeah, the ultimate emulator.
I mean, I guess to be fair, like playing old games now is easier than ever. Like there was a time like before emulation and re-releases became popular where it's like, oh, I don't have the right power cable or my TV doesn't support the input for the NES.
Right.
There was like that period of time, but now I guess, yeah, it's no problem. So I wonder how that'll go in the future, you know?
I have a question for you. Are you a pro wrestling fan?
No.
Dang it. Because I see John Cena back there, and I've seen you fight your John Cena stand-up cutout many times.
I can't even see him.
Yeah, I think, the camera I'm using couldn't see this, but yeah, he's just kind of a meme, you know?
No, I know. I know.
Yeah, I had like animal cardboard cutouts for a while, and then I got some people, and I just went with what Amazon had. You know, there wasn't a grand,
what was left over?
Hilarious thought behind it. Though I will say, so I don't know, Derek. I don't know everything you've seen, so I don't know if you know the gist. But oh my god,
I don't know what you're pulling out here.
But Harry Styles. Harry Styles cost me $70.
Oh.
This was way too much for a piece of cardboard, but not only that, but the camera kept focusing on his face. Like I couldn't get it to focus on my face. It only focused on him. So I had to tape it in order to be in focus in my videos.
All cameras just instinctively know Oh, Harry Styles' face detected.
Yeah.
Focus on that.
That's why he is where he is. You know what? And this is I say this, and this is the lamest thing I'm going to say today.
Okay.
But I've had this fantasy. I've had this thought. I'm the same age as the guys in One Direction, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when I was a teenager, I had the same boyish charm that the boys in One Direction have.
I can see that.
I also was like a okay but not fantastic singer.
Just like that.
I believe in another timeline, because you know One Direction, they were all going to be eliminated from X Factor. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were all solo performers, and they were all like, "You're not good enough." But if you become this group, we'll let you go. So that means they aren't amazing singers. Now they've trained for many years at this point. I feel like in another life, if I was born in the UK, if I was there, I feel like I could have been in One Direction. I'm you know what? I'm losing so many Mega64 viewers right now.
Oh, I thought that there was going to be another like added on. I could be in One Direction ... And I was like, yeah, and then what?
You'd be.
Well, then I'd be really rich and famous.
You'd be a different YouTuber with the cutout of him.
Well, I mean, Harry Styles got famous, but where are all the other dudes in One Direction? You have a 1 in 5 chance.
Where's Zayn?
Yeah.
They still no. They're still putting out music. It's just not as popular. I mean, they're still millionaires, right?
Yeah.
They're still doing great.
Yeah. You know, every boy band out there, there's one guy that breaks out, and then you could be the Justin Timberlake or you could be the Joey Fatone. You never know.
And
That's
I don't know
insane.
Joey Fatone, so that's a great point.
That's insane.
My friend actually, so I'm from Canada. My friend grew up with Justin Bieber, like same class. They played hockey together. They hung out like on a regular basis.
Wow. Does your friend like Justin Bieber? Does your friend defend them in conversation?
No. In fact, now I think he kind of regrets that he wasn't nicer to the guy growing up, because I mean, Justin, he was always like pretty cocky, and my friend Mark, he tells me that like, yeah, Justin would come over to my house and say like he had a better DVD player than me. You know, like he just like talks shit about like random little things, because he's just always been a very competitive guy.
That sucks.
And I think that stopped my friend from getting as close as he could have.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, if I were him, I'd be like kicking myself for like, oh man, if I just would have been closer friends with him, then I could have traveled the world with Justin back in the day.
I had a friend growing up when we were little kids who was kind of like that. He was like the alpha kid in the neighborhood. He had all the nicest stuff, but we were friends. But then when we got to high school, he was a year ahead of me. And when I got to high school, he pretended not to know me. And then he went on to become like a quarterback on the football team and got like a scholarship and was playing in like the NCAA for a while, was like on TV.
Okay.
And I just always remember thinking like, you were mean to me in high school, but I was like, I've seen you cry. You know, like we hung out on the street as kids.
Yeah.
You know, you get real close when you're kids and then they just totally change as a person. I getting flashbacks of that person listening to this Justin Bieber story, you know.
Yeah, well, obviously, like, clearly, like the friendship wouldn't, even if it like kept going, it's like you're definitely happier with the people you actually have in your life now, because it's like there's a reason they stuck around, you know.
Yeah, you're right. There's actual real connection. So, what's the future for RobertIDK and your YouTube channel? Where do you go from here?
Well, I will say, I think I talked about like being consistent is like the most important thing, and my genre becoming a lot more consistent and the type of videos I make. I want to maintain that while kind of injecting my creativity back into it.
Yeah.
Because, back in the day, it's like I did music videos, I did skits. I did certain videos where it would be like part reaction, part music video, part skit. And now those took forever to make, so I got to be careful with that. But yeah, bringing that creativity and like that, I don't want to say effort, but, you know, extra oomph to my videos. I want to bring that back. Not because I have to, but because it's, you know, more fulfilling, you know?
Right, yeah.
So aside from that, sticking with what I'm doing. But also I think I need to find a bit more of a lane, because a lot of the time last year I was reacting to a lot of like fails, you know, like physical injury type things, and you know, YouTube community guidelines is just constantly getting more and more strict.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
That's become dangerous recently. So
Even
a
on
bit
this
of
show,
discovery.
we get in trouble for some of the videos we react to. Well, Johnny shows people dying on camera and stuff like that. Supposedly.
You should censor out the word dying so that YouTube isn't like, wait, what are they talking about? And then they look further into it.
Yeah.
I am actually so careful with I censor so many words. COVID, like just anything that seems remotely controversial, like I'll censor it just because I don't need YouTube, speech algorithm, like picking it up and, having fun with it.
We should do that because this show is constantly being buried, demonetized, and not pushed. Obviously, the content is like we're always talking about negative stuff.
Yeah.
Well, there were no bad words for the first 25 minutes here, right? So
I dropped an S-bomb, so we're probably...
like 20 minutes in. Yeah.
Well, awesome. Dude, I think
this was amazing.
we've been talking for an hour. I really appreciate it. This has been a really fun conversation.
Maybe cut out the Last of Us part, or at least part of it.
We'll see.
Yeah, we want to avoid all controversy here.
Yeah. All
I just, I feel like there's been a couple things I've said that's just gonna... The One Direction thing and the Last of Us thing, it's like I see the keyboard warriors coming through, I know that's not the average Mega64 fan, but I know.
That's what we want, we want to get people engaged. We want to stir them up a little bit.
That's where the soldiers come from, the internet soldiers.
Yes, that's right. Exactly. And you are an internet soldier yourself. We're so happy to have you here. I hope we could talk again sometime. Maybe we can even get you in a video, a Mega64 video at some point.
Yeah, dude, I would love to do something. And I almost wore a Mega64 shirt to this, but then I was like, I'm not gonna.
Robert, thanks for talking with us.
Thanks, dude.
It's been fun.
Yeah, have a good one, guys.
Are we back?
Yeah, we're back.
That was cool. Shouts out, Robert. Thanks for talking to us, man. Okay, cool. That was a long conversation.
Yes.
And I'm happy that you're still here.
Thank you.
Like I said at the top of the show, check out last week's episode. If you like that conversation and you just are so hungry for more Mega64antine, go check out our cryptid episode. Even if you watched it, fire it back up. I re-listened to it. I rarely re-listen to our shows, but I was proud of those stories. Also, news update about last week's episode. I saw a lot of comments of people who were accusing me
I forgot about this.
of making up the story of the 8-foot skeleton. First of all, how can you make something like that up?
I mean, if anyone was to make it up, I think you have the creativity.
Believe you me, if I was capable of making that stuff up, I wouldn't be on this podcast. I'd be writing movies for Hollywood.
Yeah.
But also they put the onus on me of proving that the story was real. And it's like, I mean, believe it or not, first of all, it's a story about a ghost skeleton that wanders through the desert. And you're putting it on me to prove that it's real?
Yeah, where's the proof?
Believe what you want. And second of all, I found it.
Yeah.
And I was just conveying the news. I mean, I'm not here to like...
It's like when
I'm not setting up an ambling skeleton museum or anything.
When I was editing it, it was hard to like Google info about it because I got info when it was like Anzoborrega Phantom. Like it would start to come up around then.
Yeah.
So like just change your Google search terms and you'll find it. Like it's there.
What I would suggest is looking for San Diego monsters and cryptids. If you're really interested, and you'll come across the same list that I did because there's quite a few. And buried in there is that skeleton, but he is real. At least the stories are real.
Oh, speaking of that skeleton.
Yeah.
Someone drew some fan art of it.
Really?
Yeah. Here's the fan art. This was drawn by, I don't know their name or anything, but on Reddit, they were June Bat. So I thought that was really cool.
That's pretty cool. I like the purple dead eyes, the dead lights. They look like black holes inside the skull.
Black holes, son.
Yeah, basically sucking my soul out.
Yeah.
That's pretty terrifying.
Dude, this is awesome. If you guys have any fan art, like feel free to send it our way. Like I love it. And I'm down to feature on the show. How do you feel about that?
Well,
doing a little fan art.
Cat's already out of the bag because we're
yeah.
featuring it. So I mean, what is it? Of course I support it.
That'd be funny if you said no.
Yeah, what am I? I'm actually strongly against
Yeah,
the fan art,
no.
and I'm offended that you already shown this to the audience.
But speaking of fans,
Yeah.
hold on, let me cut to a close up here. You put out a call a couple weeks ago.
That's right. The last Arthur Treachers in America.
Yeah. And we had a soldier.
We have contacts out there in Ohio.
Someone made the trek. They busted their hump. They walked all the way. No,
I got excited.
this is Willie here. He
Yo!
went with his dog.
Yo, Willie and his dog.
So there's another photo. I don't have it here, but he just took a photo of what they bought
Swag.
there.
Willie, first of all, what's your dog's name?
Yeah, what's your dog's name?
We
Willie?
should do some dog merchandise.
Yeah,
We got to do a Mega64 dog tag just
Dude,
for Willie's
dog tag,
dog.
yeah.
Willie's dog has inspired me to do some dog merch. Also, what's in the bag? I want to know what did he get from Arthur Treachers?
I wish I had my phone on me. I could show you, but in the other room, I could run and get it.
No, it's okay. Willie,
I think he got some fish and chips.
You answered the call, Willie, and
Yeah.
I respect that
Yeah.
a heck of a lot. So let me tell you what we're going to do, Willie. We're going to send you a special gift package full
shit.
of Mega64 swag. We're going to make this Arthur Treachers trip worth it to you. We know you dropped a little dough on Arthur Treachers. We're going to drop a little dough on you, Willie. We appreciate you going out there and, representing Mega64 in the neighborhood. Basically, when Mega64 says there's only one fast food joint of this kind left in America,
Yeah.
we got to get a soldier there. We need to know that there are soldiers available.
Yeah, he was like immediate too. Like it was like a couple of days later. He's like, "Yo, I'm here."
Yeah.
So shouts out, Willie.
Yeah, we appreciate it, and we're going to make it worth it for you.
Dude.
That's awesome. Thanks, Willie.
There was an anniversary this month
No way.
of one of my favorite tweets of all time.
You have a favorite tweet of all time?
Yeah.
Wait, is this, you're telling me a shrimp fried this rice?
That's the best. I don't even know where that.
That is your favorite tweet
That
of
is
all
my favorite
time.
tweet.
Okay.
Are you telling me a shrimp fried this rice? That's so funny. No, but this is from your and mine's favorite billionaire, Vince McMahon.
I'll do this in Vince McMahon's
yeah,
voice, and I haven't seen this yet. I don't care who you are. Get out of my weight room. Pokemon Go. Wow.
I love that. I don't know.
Vince McMahon is you know what? If the Pokemon doesn't leave, then
Yeah.
I think we have a match on our hands.
Dude, Vince
WrestleMania
McMahon
main
versus
event?
Ghastly.
Vince McMahon just playing Pokemon Go.
Oh, yeah.
In the ring at WrestleMania. Legitimately, I would enjoy that.
I would love, like, I wish he was like he would be down to make YouTube channels. I would love to just watch him like do Pokemon Go. I wonder if like in my head I'm like, oh, did a kid tell him to do that? But I was like, his kid's Stephanie McMahon.
Yeah, his kids are old.
Yeah, they're
his kids
old now.
His kids have kids, and they have kids. He's like a triple granddaddy.
Dude, he's a great granddaddy.
Great granddaddy Vince McMahon. What else you got for us?
Now we get to the Olympics.
Okay.
So apparently the Olympics are trying to do this thing where people can't. They're trying to.
We covered this previously that because of big disease.
Yeah. Oh,
We're not supposed to say the name.
yeah. I'll bleep it out.
They don't want the athletes getting too close to each other.
Yeah.
So despite the fact that they are handing out condoms to everybody
Yeah.
at the Olympics, they're telling them those are souvenirs and you're not allowed to use them.
Yes.
Now I heard the news story that came out today, which is probably what this is about.
Yeah.
They are now issuing intercourse-proof beds that will break if two people sit on them.
Yeah.
They're made out of cardboard. Also, if there's any sudden movement, maybe like a thrust,
Yeah.
or a jostle, they will also break.
I saw a tweet with that image that said, "Oh yeah, peak performance humans. Maybe they'll figure out a way to have intercourse standing up."
All that aside, I just feel like, well, what happens when the person like just breaks their bed accidentally and then their like water polo game is all messed up because they didn't get a night's sleep because they're sleeping on a cardboard bed that broke.
That is exactly what I was thinking. I am such a like in my sleep I move around.
Yeah.
I can never get comfortable. So like that shit would definitely just cave in immediately when I tried to sleep.
Also, is there no mattress on the bed?
I think it's a mattress. I think like those really cheap like particle board, like single bed things where it's just like a piece of particle board.
Yeah.
Instead, I think it's just cardboard instead of particle board.
You got athletes from all over the world. These people train so rigorously. They're disciplined. I mean, they can sleep on a mattress on the floor.
Yeah.
As soon as you show up, you just elbow drop that bed. It's completely broken. It's sitting on the floor. Then it's like, yo, bring all those souvenir condoms over. This bed's been floored. I don't know. But yeah, if I was an athlete at the Olympics, I feel like I could outsmart the bed.
Yeah, me too. I would just put it on the floor.
I think I'm smarter than a cardboard bed. I don't know. That's what I'm wagering, at least. Okay.
I have some videos too.
All right.
I wanted to bring back an old concept you had because you said it, and every day we get closer to it, and I'm afraid, Derek. I'm really afraid.
What was the
that
concept?
Joker,
I don't remember.
that Joker president is going to become real.
Yeah, Joker is more real than Batman. Batman is just a comic book character.
Yeah.
But Joker is getting under the skin of our society.
It's become like Americana at this point.
Yeah, Joker is America.
Yeah.
At this point.
So
he's the most American character to come out in the past 50 years.
Yeah. So this is a video from Times Square.
Modern day Uncle Sam.
Dude,
I'm gonna say it.
That's
what. Do you have a video that basically is Joker is modern day Uncle Sam?
I mean, kind of, but also like I'm just imagining like a future war where like instead of the like I want you, it's just the Joker like laughing. Yeah. So this is from a video from Times Square here. It has some music, but I'll mute it for YouTube.
What the? This guy is not a joke.
No, this is real. This is Joker president right here.
This is Joker president.
I'm gonna lower it a little bit.
There's real Jokers.
Dude,
there's real Jokers
this is a
out
real
there.
Joker.
Ladies and gentlemen, there are real Jokers out there.
I think he shows the photos they took. Like, it's really funny that this guy's like, oh, I made an innocent video with this Joker guy, but it's like, this is scary to me, at least. Whoa. There he is. Joker president, baby.
Joker Uncle Sam.
There you go.
That's cool. I could do well, you know what I think, Johnny?
What?
I think you've just inspired a whole episode on this show, a Joker expose. I think we need to explore the Joker.
We start at like the man who laughs and then get to like Joker president.
First of all,
that would be like a 3-hour-long podcast.
Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do a full explanation of the Joker.
Yeah.
The inception of the Joker from the comic books,
Yeah.
the evolution of the Joker through the comic books,
Yeah.
and then the Joker spilling into our modern day real world and the potential future of what the Joker means to America.
My brain is just like, in like doing fucking 360s right now.
The Joker episode. It's coming up. It's coming up. Before we move on,
Yes.
I do want to talk about our plans for next week's episode.
Oh, yeah.
Which is not the Joker episode, but it's something we've been hinting at for a while. Yeah, and maybe I wouldn't be surprised if in the future a Joker figures into an episode like this. We're going to be doing an expose on the mega wealthy. We've been talking about Jeff Bezos and his space race that he's been having with Richard Branson.
Yeah.
Virgin Mega.
Yeah.
And we've just been talking about how frivolous wealthy people are with the things that they spend their money on. And I honestly have been doing a little bit of research, and even for myself, I had no concept really of what the mega wealthy world was like. Like, basically what I'm trying to say is
it's scary.
In preparing for next week's episode, I thought I had a concept of what it was to be rich. And now I know that I truly had no idea what true wealth is like. For some people out there, the level of wealth that they have, the world that they are living in, I wasn't fully mentally prepared for the things that I read.
We'll talk about this more next week, but like, you just get detached from society. Like you are almost in like a different society when you hit a certain level of wealth. Like you're just
not only no. Tune into next week's episode.
Yeah.
We're not going to go
do
into
the actual
it now.
debate.
But what I will say, in my opinion, is you live in the same society. You view it differently.
Yeah.
You think about it in a way that us normal people, it's incomprehensible for us to think about it.
Yeah.
Like we hear about people from history and you have like those people's items in your house. You know, it's that level of different world. We're going to get into it next week's episode, an expose on mega wealth. We hope you check it out.
I like the term mega wealth.
That's what it is. It's mega wealth.
I totally forgot. I have a surprise for you. I'm just gonna play it. Get your blind reaction here.
I see the name here. I see the name of the video.
So
you've got to be kidding me. Shut up. Wait, this is the video that got wiped from the internet last week's Bigfoot Encrypted episode. I had my own conspiracy theory that NBC had posted a video about Bigfoot, and then days later,
it got wiped
it from the web. Nuked it as if it never existed, as if Men in Black showed up with their little flashy thing and flashy thing to solve.
Yeah.
Where did you find this video from?
So I shouts out, I don't remember the person's username, but a fan on our subreddit, the Mega64 subreddit, join if you'd like, was like, hey, I saw this and I ripped it. Like,
because you knew.
Not even thinking about it. And they were like, they just posted a link. I was
all
like,
right,
holy
before
shit.
you play this, let me give a setup to this video. Ladies and gentlemen, NBC interviewed a bunch of Olympians going to the 2020 Olympics and asked them a simple question.
Yeah.
Do you believe in Bigfoot? Most of them said no.
Yeah.
One of them said yes.
I haven't even watched this. I was saving it.
Do you believe in Bigfoot?
That's a very good question.
Do you believe in Bigfoot?
Nope, don't believe in Bigfoot.
By the way,
I
think that picture of Bigfoot was from the music video we played.
Oh shit, was it really?
I think they pulled the same clips that we did.
Do I believe in Bigfoot? I don't know. Some of those documentaries are pretty like good.
Yeah,
no.
I agree.
Yes. So we.
Yeah, there he is, dude. This is the reason this video got taken down. This fool.
This guy, straight up, absolutely.
Yeah.
And it definitely wasn't my granddad going around with a little footprint he bought off online.
What the fuck? What the fuck is that? What
Real
the fuck
Bigfoot
is that?
caught on tape.
Dude, Getty Images.
How does Bigfoot have a goatee when your entire body is covered in fur? How do you still have a goatee?
Why does Bigfoot look like my dad?
Maybe it's a negative goatee and that's the only part of his face that's shaved.
It was Bigfoot tracks that were in the snow. So I have, again,
that's a Yeti,
solid
bro.
proof and evidence that he's real.
I do not believe in Bigfoot.
Okay.
I just don't really know much about Bigfoot.
Hard no.
And I don't.
Like,
I'd be
you're dumb
scared
for
if
asking
there
me?
was a real Bigfoot.
Yeah, she's pretty condescending with her answer.
Half and half.
Half and half.
Because, I mean, no one's ever seen him, but like, how is that possible that no one's ever seen such a large creature? But at the same time, if it hasn't been seen,
She's slowly convincing herself right now.
then how do you know it's not real?
Right. If it hasn't been seen, how do you know it's not
dude,
real?
how do you prove that? Bigfoot.
Was that Bigfoot in Japan?
I don't know.
That looked like a...
I love all this stock footage.
I don't want.
Okay, can I just real quick? I don't know if they could see it on the thing here, but a pet peeve of mine is like, why set up a fucking set that you're gonna film if you're gonna do this fucking weird like, oh, here's the background thing. Like, why would you do that?
Damn, dude.
Sorry.
You're so upset.
It's like a weird trend that they do, and I just don't understand it.
Well, they're an NBC. I'm sure they know something about what they're doing.
Well, maybe. I don't really know. I mean, who knows what's out there?
I believe they pulled this video completely to protect the reputation of Caleb Dressel, who unequivocally said, yes, I believe in Bigfoot. No, it wasn't my grandfather playing a prank on me. I have the evidence.
He got so serious about it too. He's like, yep, I saw him.
Yeah, he got scared. He's like, what?
What? How do you know? How do you know about that?
Who have you been talking to? Why are you asking me about Bigfoot? How do you know?
Dude, shouts out to that internet soldier that found that. That is like, I was blown away. I thought it was gonna be a prank or something. They just posted a link.
You know
They're like,
what?
yo, I got this.
We're sending Willie from Treachers a little something.
Yeah.
We're going to send something to this internet soldier as well. Thank you for being in our crew, in our video team, pulling in for the clutch save of the Bigfoot expose. That, by the way, is what is truly magical about the internet.
Yeah.
That video, I saw it. I tried to share it. It got pulled.
Yeah.
We put a call out on our show and magically it returns from the ether. That is something special. Thank you to that viewer.
Dude, and that's the last video I have, so I'm...
Well, then I guess on that note, we're going to end this episode.
Thank you so much again for watching. Thank you,
huge
Robert
shout
IDK.
out to Robert IDK for talking to us. If you want to get even more of Derek and Johnny, because you can't get your fill just in one Saturday, be sure to follow us on social media. I am on Instagram at Derek Acosta only, and I am on Twitter at Gustavo.
I'm on Instagram at catboy_slim, and I'm on Twitter at Johnny13.
I'm going to say it one more time. Check out last week's episode.
Please.
Go back even further. Check out our UFO episode and tune in next week for our Mega Wealth Expose.
Dude, I'm excited.
We will be returning with more funny videos and some funny news stories. But until next time, we're going to say, watch out for Bigfoot and stay safe.
You might have the anti-goatee.